How's it going, everyone? Equinox Phoenix here. Today we're going to talk about Flash Season 7, Episode 7, titled Growing Pains. Well, this episode is a very big, it's a very big oh no in general. um, so it starts with Barry bringing food home, only to then find that the Speed Force can cook. Yeah, I didn't expect that either. So Barry's very uncomfortable around the Speed Force right now because the Speed Force is a lot more human than before. Uh, for lack of a better way to phrase it, like she's a lot more human, and so it's like, how do I like process this? And a lot more parental, like. So, of course, the title "Growing Pains" comes from the fact that not only is Barry very uncomfortable around the Speed Force right now, but the Speed Force is essentially supercharging his powers. She's constantly like feeding more like energy into Barry, uh, increasing his speed at too fast a pace. Like he's not being given a chance to like adjust to the new speed. And so when she offers him a mimosa, he breaks the glass. um it's just this whole like mess of an episode. Anyway, so they end up getting called. Okay, so obviously now we know Kramer's after Killer Frost. So her defense attorney is of course the lovely Cecile Horton. We get that one's she's trying to get like Frost to not fuck this up, right? Oh no. Anyway, Chester gets called to a crime scene where someone's been killed. Bye. Guess what? Ice powers, or fake ice powers, I should say. Um, and of course Kramer, because she has this hate boner uh for Frost, is like, oh, this is Killer Frost, and she keeps insisting that it's Killer Frost, like that they're Killer Frost. But Frost has never killed on this Earth. Our Frost has never once killed anyone. So how is she Killer Frost if she's never killed? She's not a killer. She's just assault and kidnapping. Uh, Assault and kidnapping of her ex and her current friend. Although I guess attempted murder. Um, Back when she was a thrall of Savitar, for lack of a better way to phrase that one. That one was a. Anyway, so Kramer is hate boner central for a thing. The Speed Force messes Barry up and essentially slams Barry into the back of Kramer's car, which was pretty funny. Anyway, Frost goes back to one of her previous places of work. The bar, I forget its name because it's not relevant, honestly, where she meets Mark. Stereotypical pretty boy, but also something seems off about him. Right? Like something seems really, really off about him. I'm just like, I don't know. It's like I was like, I don't know. Like I kind of like this dude, but something feels really off about the dude. Which he tells Frost where thing. Of course, you see the news announcement with Kramer saying $100,000 for anyone with information on Killer Frost, and I'm just like, oh no. And a bar fight breaks out where he helps Frost and tells her, there's this warehouse you could probably go find that this new meta in town has. All right. So as Barry's studying the data from the crime scene, the Speed Force appears. We got Nora appearing in her usual strange, like, pseudo teleportation running speed thing. And as we know, she's like forcing too much speed into Barry, and as a result, Barry loses control and destroys the data. And Barry, being justifiably upset, he how do I put this? Barry flips out on Nora, and she just goes home, right? She goes back to the loft, and it's this whole mess. Anyway, Caitlin then gets arrested for being Killer Frost, but wait, Killer Frost doesn't exist on Earth Prime. Why is Caitlin being arrested? She gets arrested for being Frost, essentially. Because someone who knows that Frost and Caitlin are one and the same sent an anonymous tip to Kramer. Now, they do a blood check, right? For a specific gene, the metagene, right? But guess who doesn't have a metagene? That's right. Caitlin Snow doesn't have a metagene. So Frost tries to break Caitlin out, but it's just like, no, do not do this. And Caitlin and Cecile are like, no, do not do this. You are a good person. Do not break into the police. And Frost figures out who is doing the bad this episode. Essentially the villain of the week. Joe confronts Kramer for being a grade A tool and bad person. Is this when Barry and Iris have the heart to heart? Jeez. Yep, Barry and Iris have a heart to heart over thing over Nora / Speed Force, where, you know, they realize, well, Barry realizes, you know, he's being too hard on the Speed Force. And Nora confronts Mark, who turns out is the villain of the week. Mark Blaine, aka Chillblaine. Oh god, that is such a bad name. Anyway, a fight ensues between Frost and Mark. I refuse to call him by that name of choice because it's just terrible. Where Mark blinds Frost with ice, oddly enough. And Frost ends the fight. She ends the fight by stabbing herself and Mark so that she can get her ice healing to heal her, but of course it doesn't work. Flash comes in, wraps some bandages around Mark, and CCPD is surrounded the bar. Allegra wants to fight. Frost says, no, I'm just going to turn myself in, right? It's the right thing to do. She needs to atone for her past crimes, which are aggravated assault and kidnapping. I don't know if attempted murder technically counts. I don't know if she's on the hook for that or not. She did technically commit it under Savitar's employ. But yeah. Anyway, afterwards, while Barry and Iris are having a talk, the Speed Force appears, right? And a heart-to-heart between the two, between Barry and the Speed Force. And Barry, for the first time ever, calls her Nora, right? Now, I would have much preferred she take on the form of Barry's kid, Nora, as opposed to Barry's mother, Nora, who's dead and a lot of people would recognize. But, you know, it is what it is. So now we have a new Nora. Nora 3, for lack of a better a way to phrase it. But anyway, Nora is Nora. Uh, yeah. Anyway, that is where the episode ends. Now, before that, there's something I need to address. Um, I have seen a lot of thumbnails and YouTube video titles claiming that the Speed Force is now evil. And using this as a reason, no. I do not believe that the Speed Force is evil. I believe that the actions that are strange for the Speed Force are just the fact that, as discussed, or more alluded to in this week's episode, Nora is more human now. She is not just this omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent force of the universe. She is now more human, likely due to the fact that when she was reborn via the vestiges in a human. She has more human traits. Being human does not necessitate being evil, as much as real life tells you otherwise, especially during the current situation. And oh my lord, my arm hurts. She's not evil. She's just more human. And as such, she makes mistakes, right? Like, driving too much speed into Barry, causing him to break a mimosa bottle. Driving too much speed into Barry, causing him to destroy Data by accident. Hit Kramer's car, etc. These are not the workings of a supervillain. These are the workings of a force of the universe that is trying to learn to be more human and adjust to the emotions of a human. I think if anything, the evil forces are the Strength Force and the Sage Force. Not necessarily the Still Force. I don't think Dion is necessarily evil. Fuerza and Psyche, for sure, are evil. Like, Psyche especially, he's proving he doesn't give two shits about people, right? Dion was just like, the Still Force is just like, I have power, I'm gonna relive my glory days. That's not really evil. Like, if anything, he could probably create a time bubble where he has to relive his glory days in, like, the North Pole or something, and just live them out there. So she's not necessarily evil, right? Like, the evil forces are the Strength Force and the Sage Force, not the Speed Force and possibly the Still Force, right? Nora's just more human. She's not evil. Let's stop clickbaiting people and claiming she's evil. Like, that's not fair. That's not fair to Nora. It's not fair to the writers. I know I don't necessarily agree with everything the writers do, but, like, come on. Let's be real here. Anyway, overall, this episode was pretty good. We got some character development. Barry, we got to learn more about Nora, aka the Speed Force. I'm going to continue to call her Nora because that's the name she's chosen to go by, right? And it's just the proper thing to do to call her Nora. I was just switching between the two constantly because Barry, who is the title character of the show, was reticent to call her that, but now that everybody is calling her that, we're just gonna go with it. It is the name she chose, and quite frankly, I was empathizing a bit with Barry. Like, it's probably pretty uncomfy for him, but, like, if he's over it, then, let's go with it. And technically calling her the Speed Force isn't wrong, but from now on, I'll stick to calling her Nora. As she is not the universal energy, she is literally in the form of Nora Allen. Anyway, tell what you guys thought of the episode down in the comment section down below. I am sorry for the rant at the end of the video. That's going to be for this video. If you guys haven't already, hit like, hit subscribe if you're new. I will see you guys next time, and as always, stay bright.